This week we're talking war movies. With Memorial Day coming up, we thought, hey, 'tis the season. So we're doing our top 3 war movies. Let's get right into it. We're going to start with me in my number 3, and it is Saving Private Ryan. Now it's kind of like the go-to war movie, right? It's World War II. It's really realistic. I remember we had a friend of ours whose dad was in World War II and like started watching this and had to stop. Nope.
Yeah.
It's a really good war movie. It's almost like tough to revisit. Charlie, I know this was one of your like movies I don't think I need to watch. Because it's a tough watch.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want kind of an idea happening, pretty good example there.
True. Some really good performances. Obviously Hanks is always fantastic, but I really liked Barry Pepper in this. I thought he was fantastic. Tom Sizemore and Giovanni Ribisi. You even get like a little Vin Diesel. I wish they hadn't cast Matt Damon as Private Ryan, because you're just waiting the whole movie for Matt Damon to show up. I wonder who. Oh, is this the guy they're looking for? Oh, it's not Matt Damon yet.
It's Nathan Fillion. It's even better.
I just
stole the entire movie, but that one
they could have just cast. They could have. Poor Nathan Fillion should have been Private Ryan, and then it would have been like a surprise, and we would have like been instead of just waiting the whole movie for Matt Damon to show up. But whatever.
Could you imagine Nathan Fillion's career if he had? Would it have taken
his GIF game would be off the charts, because I used the aging before our very eyes GIF all the time. When it gets just, I feel that in my bones every day. So I mean, he would certainly be a part of my go-to GIF rotation there. But yeah, probably would have done. I'm surprised this didn't do more for Barry Pepper's career, if I'm being honest, because he's a really good actor, and he was in this in '61, and it just didn't quite take off for him. It's okay though.
But we got Tom.
What could have been? We did get Tom Hanks. He did all right for himself before and after. I don't think he needed this one, but he did all right for himself.
So this is a great one. It's a great one. It's my number 3. All right, Charlie.
All right,
your number.
My number 3. So we always talk a little bit of methodology. I have 3 different movies from 3 different wars. Wanted to mix it up a little bit. And I like my war movies. I've realized as I've gotten older. The cinematography for most of these is going to be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
The music or the score for most of these is going to be fantastic. And I think there's some common links. I can't imagine that any of us are putting a poorly shot or poorly sound quality film on our top 3s here. But I like the drama behind it. I like the message and the themes. I like movies that make me think and feel for hours after they're over, a weight or a heaviness. So my number 3 is Glory, which
nice.
I saw for the first time in school. They showed this one, talking about Civil War, and it was the first movie I can remember seeing where everybody died. And I hadn't experienced that in a movie. It's just like the good guys win.
Sure.
I watch my Saturday morning cartoons. I watch my my Star Wars movies. Like the good guys, the evil guys turn good. The good guys win. And you're watching this emotional movie. It's got just this tremendous acting in it. My goodness, Denzel Washington is like just a force in this movie. And then all of a sudden, like the end comes and they all just die. And it was like, what? And then this was something I revisited, obviously, after, I think we watched this in elementary school at some point. But as an adult, and then it was kind of like, what's the historical significance of this? And you start looking up the real stories. And just like, it's just gut wrenching, all of it. Just an incredibly well-researched and well-acted film with like a really great James Horner score. Love me some Horner. May he rest in peace. And Morgan Freeman and Andre Braugher. Speaking of may he rest in peace, he's so freaking good. But the acting's off the charts. So if you haven't had a chance to see this, or if you've only seen it in a sterile school environment, I recommend watching the whole thing.
You said you watched this in elementary school?
Yeah,
like in class.
Yeah, like not like they didn't put. It's a 2-hour plus movie, so it's not like they put it on and showed it. It was more like scenes. So they show like parts here, but Like the director said that he put the goriest thing is at the beginning. So like
Yeah.
someone literally gets their head blown off. And
Yeah.
he wanted to set the tone to let people know, like, hey, this is going to be a gory. There's going to be some really gory stuff that happens in this movie. So like they didn't show that, but they
Okay.
did show like the end, people getting shot and things like that. It was like, look, I had this was the Wild West of school teachers showing things back then. My high school English teacher was showing us the old Romeo and Juliet with like nudity, and he's like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
I
wasn't
saw
that funny?
that too.
Let's rewind it again." And then he rewind it, and it was like, it's like, all right, stuff that would be unthinkable by today's standards. But yeah, the video there was a little less maybe oversight. So yeah, we got to see some people getting their brains shot out in glory back in the day.
I have to sign off old school, like watches a PG.
Mhm,
I have to sign like a waiver. I'm like, 15. Goes for classes.
Hey, you're welcome. That's from me. My elementary school. Also, I got knocked off of the monkey bars or something. I landed on my head and passed out. And now they have rubber and stuff there. They didn't before. It was just cement. So
Yeah.
I
And no
I made that
swings.
happen.
Swings.
They quit. You can't believe how quickly they fixed it after they called my mom. They're like, yeah. At the end of the day, by the way, they called her and was like, oh yeah, your son. He did black out for a little bit after he fell off the climbing structure. So that's again, the times have changed. What's your number 3, Dylan?
Well, it's funny you should ask, Charlie. I also did one. If it's I didn't. I mean, so many World War II movies came out about World War II, and you could just fill this list with each one of us could fill it with that. But I decided to go in the same route as Charlie did. One war, one movie. My number 3 is it's not, oddly enough, the oldest movie on my list, but it is in fact Apocalypse Now.
All right.
I knew this
Mhm.
would be on your list. I knew it.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I will admit this. A little bit of trivia at the end when you see a tribe kind of sacrifice an oxen or something like that. They're actually killing it, and so it put it into a different kind of a light. But yeah, but
Oh, I said I didn't know that.
oh, yeah. That actually has made it so I haven't revisited it in a while, but I do revisit scenes, and like Martin Sheen is unbelievable throughout this entire movie. And you have, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Duvall is in it, and he is fantastic. It's hard for me to think. I mean, yeah, there's parts that are even ridiculous and may make no sense. But you do have Marlon Brando in it, who absolutely makes it even less sense. He's just like, are you an assassin? He's like, I'm a soldier. It's like, "You're neither. You're an errand boy sent by grocery clerk to collect the bill." I'm like, what? Nuts. The insanity goes even higher. Fantastic movie. I absolutely love it. And it makes it seem like, and as it should, war is hell.
Another fun trivia fact from this is one of the main actors is someone named Sam Bottoms. And that's one of the greatest acting names of all time. I can't imagine having the last name Bottoms and then becoming an actor and just not changing that. But I can't imagine having a normal last name and changing it to Bottoms. So I like to think that Sam Bottoms just kept it the
Stage name?
same. But
Nice.
no, it's just good old Sam Bottoms. He just like, hey, you're not getting rid of me that easy, Sam Bottoms.
But
Actor,
did Sam Bottoms
producer,
do anything
also
else?
Soundtrack. He was like in one episode of 21 Jump Street, an episode of Twilight Zone. He performed a little bit on the Outlaw Josie Wales on a song because he was an actor in that. Not a lot of stuff. Good old.
Should have changed
There was
his name.
Dusty Bottoms. Was his brother? He was in Three Amigos. Good old Dusty Bottoms. So
I love Three Amigos.
Sam Bottoms. Great
Uh,
cast though. That if you kill some time on that, that's an incredible all-star cast. My goodness.
So I did not follow you guys' method. I think all my wars might be from
All
the same
World War
war. I think they're all world.
You got to type. That's okay.
I just picked
There's
movies.
so many.
I picked movies that I was like, that was really good. I could possibly. Or if I like wanted to show my kids, and be like, this is like a war to like help explain like World War II, parts of World War. I just picked 3 movies that I was like,
I'll let you know, my daughter's 3. She's already seen Saving Private Ryan. So I mean, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. She's never seen Saving Private Ryan.
so my number 2 is a movie that I think is really good. Hacksaw Ridge. But it's like a really good movie. I really like the based on like story part of it, with based on guy who's played by Andrew Garfield, joins the army. He's like a pacifist. He's like, I don't want to touch a weapon, and has to kind of overcome all the mockery and stuff like that to go through that. And so he becomes a medic and goes on to save like 75 people in the Battle of Okinawa. And like, it's really cool. And Andrew Garfield does a really good job. Like, especially like the whole sequence of him like saving. Lord, please just help me get one more. Let me get one more. Keep saying that. 75 people is great. And they're having to like go down a cliff, and like they're having lower guys. Really good. It's just it's kind of one of those like inspiring type movies. Kind of seeing the horrors of war, but kind of like good people. This one,
I like that they got your quote at the bottom of the poster. Best war film since Saving Private Ryan.
I know. Well, I had
Brody
Saving
Hansen
Private
from Talk, Talk,
Ryan,
Punch.
is my number 3, and this one's number 2. So
I hope your first one better say best war film since Hacksaw Ridge, or we're going to be,
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see. Maybe
we'll see. We'll see.
So there's my
Well,
number.
Brody-
Have you guys seen this one?
This is on Hulu, and when we decided we were going to do this topic, I thought maybe I'll watch this because I've never seen it, and then I didn't. So that's the end of my really good story. So now that it's on your list, maybe I will endeavor to check that out.
It's really good.
I haven't seen this or War Horse. Both are on Hulu. I might have to give them a
I
view.
can't see. War Horse is the one where it's the horse, right? Yeah, I can't do that. I don't ever want to see a.
I assume there's a horse in it.
I think
I don't
so. I think it's like a horse that's at war for some.
Yeah, they attach like cannons and lasers to it, I think. But
Nice. If it was lasers, I'd be okay with it.
a good old laser horse, I believe is what the nickname they gave him. Oh, Brody loves these movies that make you feel good after you watch them. That's not what we're going for on my list. We want you feeling really hollowed out and empty. Glory, as sad as that makes you feel, it's really the most conventional top to bottom film on my list. No, it's okay. Full Metal Jacket is we've talked about on this podcast before. Stanley Kubrick, just an incredible piece of filmmaking. Really a story told in 2 halves, and just like the performances. Like Vincent D'Onofrio is just, I mean, he if you watch any of the Daredevil TV show, he's great. But also Men in Black when he does my impression. What are this one? He doesn't talk like this at all. He's just great. He's great in this, and Matthew Modine, and you get Liam Ermey, whatever his who's like goes on to parody this character in like a million things, including like The Simpsons and even Toy Story as the voice of Sarge, and The Frighteners and a whole bunch of other things. Just some really great performances, some really great writing. This is much like Glory. It's maybe a little lighter on spectacle than some of the war movies, and more so than Glory. And really like for as much suspense and drama and tension as there is, you're not getting this big epic battle scenes. You get that long drawn out sniper sequence that just like it's hard to breathe while you watch it. It's so intense. It's just like you really get to see a lot of the, but really all, all 3, but especially these really good, the horrors of war and the impact on people's lives, but not just the soldiers, but the wake around them as well. Just a really powerful and important film. And if you're going to see one Vietnam movie, this would be the one that I would recommend.
Yeah.
Like I almost think the first half is harder than the second. Like the whole like boot camp training stuff, and like soap and the socks and like all that stuff.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Well, I had this uplifting inspirational. Takes us down.
My number one will do the same. Dylan, what's your number two? What are we doing here?
I hope it's a happy one. Hope it's a happy
I'm
one.
glad you asked. Actually, it's our first crossover because I put Glory at number 2.
Hey,
1989. I actually saw this in junior high. We would like have history, like a period, and like we would watch it in increments of 1 hour as we were there. And they did not. They were like, "We're showing you the whole thing, so just be ready for that." And we were ready for it. When they blew off the guy's head, people were just like, not like, oh, but like, oh, yeah. Oh no, we were very quiet. But again, this is an unbelievable movie. I also like looked into the history behind this. My grandfather actually gave me a book about World War II. He was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I just watched Glory." He's like, "That's a really good movie." I was like, "Yeah." He really enjoyed the Civil War. Civil War. Yeah, that's right. Civil War. But yeah, Andre Braugher is excellent. I mean, the cast is excellent. Everybody is excellent. Excellent movie. And yeah, everybody dies.
So you watched this in middle school?
Yeah. We would see it. I remember we would go, and they were like, "We're not going to turn any of it off. Like, you're watching the whole thing." And so we were like, "Oh, okay, like we're fine with that." But I mean, like, yeah. And in that hour for like whatever it was, like a week or so, yeah, we actually watched all of Glory in 1 hour increments.
2000s were a weird time. Middle school rated R movies.
You know that we were not in middle school in the 2000s, right?
Well,
speak for yourself. So
nobody here. What are you talking?
Fun fact: the director of Glory, Edward Zwick, did some other movies that you might have heard of. You know, he wrote the screenplay for The Last Samurai and directed that with Tom Cruise. He also did Courage Under Fire with Denzel again. Yeah. Legends of the Fall. You know, and on a much lighter note, he did About Last Night with like Rob Lowe and Demi Moore. So he's had an interesting career. And then kind of Blood Diamond in 2006, and then after that, Love and Other Drugs. But then he kind of just faded away. But he directed Jack Reacher Never Go Back. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, so there you go.
Oh,
nice.
I like the show better.
Same guy.
But those Jack Reacher.
You can't beat Tom Cruise is great. Come on now.
It's true.
He's the perfect size for the role, and I accept nothing less. All right, give us your number one, bro.
Moving on to number ones. It is, hey, if you've made it this far, you must be enjoying something. So we would love it if you liked, subscribed, hit that notification bell so you can come back here whenever we drop it. It happens somewhat regularly. But yeah, we'd love for you to join us. Okay, my number one might be a little controversial.
Interesting.
Because I remembered something about it after I told you guys that American.
Oh, here it comes.
I did Dunkirk.
Oh yeah, what? That's not American at all.
I know it's still World War II, and I
cheater. Very Christopher Nolan, bro.
But I thought of something as I said it. Americans very well could have taken part in this movie, in this story.
Movie.
In this
Probably
story,
not in the
there could have been Americans living in Britain that took their boats over. Hey, and America did join this war. It was a little bit later after this. It's still,
I don't know what war it was in Japan that Tom Cruise was a part of, but obviously that is now also an American war because it's more American than Tom Cruise.
I mean, he's the last samurai.
He's the last samurai.
World War II. We still took part in World War II. It just wasn't.
Hey, Brody, I cannot disprove a single thing that you're saying, so it all checks out. That's
Science works. Science works.
The math is mathing. You got this.
Mhm.
Tell us about Dunkirk.
Oh, Dunkirk. It's probably no surprise. Everybody knows. This is also my favorite war movie. And this is a war movie that I feel like I could revisit because it is rewatchable. I enjoy it. It's got those inspirational moments. It's got the interweaving kind of stories and times. You know, get kind of some story takes place on the land and some on the sea and some in the air, and it's really interesting how they weave all those together. You know, yet like especially the famous part is all the civilians who take their boats to get the soldiers who are trapped on the beach.
Mm.
And because they couldn't get the big ships in there. So it's just really interesting, and it's a really good watch. It's not my favorite Christopher Nolan movie, but it is my favorite war movie. It's just, I enjoyed watching it, and I wasn't kind of left with that kind of pit in your stomach feel of other war movies where you're like, okay, I realized that this was like a well-made. Don't want to little. There's definitely like real like heavy parts to this, but still kind of inspiring enough that you're like, okay, I can walk away and like feel good about it, even though it ended. It was a but yeah, I think it's right. Charlie, did you ever see this one?
I have not seen this, but it's I didn't think I needed to for this list because it wouldn't qualify under normal standards. But uh, but it's on my list of things to get to when it comes to the right streaming service. So I'm on it.
It's a good one. Recommend it
This
for all you out there.
this I can guarantee will be better than Insomnia, which will go down forever in history as the worst Christopher Nolan movie of all time. Unless he really pops out a clunker or a turd in the next few years.
Worse than The Following?
I have not seen The Following, but I would gladly, if you told me I had to watch one or the other tonight, I would watch The Following.
Oh, dude. Oh, I don't think I actually finished it. I didn't.
Following's kind of rough.
Insomnia is rough. It's incredibly rough. He catches him like 5 times in the first 20 minutes and still doesn't have him. Lets him go. I don't. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We don't need to talk about Insomnia.
All right,
I would like to
make
know.
sure you click above, right above Dylan's head. I'm going to insert when we ranked all the Christopher Nolan movies.
There we go.
And this movie.
There we go.
All right, Charlie, what is your number one?
Yeah.
My number one is one that I watched when it first came out, and I just didn't care for it. And it is one that I will tell you right now, it is not one that you are going to watch and think that was fine. You are going to love it. You're going to think it's you're going to think it's poetry. You're going to think it's glorious. You're going to think it's art, or you're going to think it's horrible, boring, and just pointless. And there's really like not a lot of in between. And when I first watched it, I was too young, and I just thought, it's not. The pacing's off. It came out the same year as another famous war movie, and it just wasn't like for me. But it was on my list of things as I got older that I'm like, I want to revisit some of these movies that I watched when I was younger and didn't have the patience for them to see if like something in me has changed enough that I'm going to like the movie, or if in fact my first impressions of the movie was wrong. So it was on a short list of those. And when I rewatched it, I had a completely different experience rewatching it. It is beautifully shot. It is like it is incredibly well acted, and the whole war movie plays out without really like main characters. It's just almost like you're there as like an observer, and you're going pockets of people to pockets of people, and just kind of experiencing the war and the stories that are unfolding in this battle through the eyes and through the like the stories of these different men in the battle. So you can put it up.
Dylan, do you know what it is?
Thin Red Line.
Oh,
what? I just said it. Sorry, I didn't know you were gonna quiz him. But Terrence Malick is he's an acquired taste. There could be like a battle scene going on and someone's getting shot, and then all of a sudden he pans the camera up to a bird, and it's a beautiful bird. And then there's another battle scene and someone's dying, and he pans up and there's this beautiful like just light filtering through the leaves and branches of a tree. That's not for everybody. He's intersplicing the horrors of war with like the just the beauty of nature that's around these men who are dying in this battle. And it just leaves you by the end of it. Like it's long. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes. George Clooney gets like top billing. He appears at like 2 hours and like 39 minutes or so for like a minute. This cast is like it's a bloated cast, and I think that part probably adds a little bit to maybe the agitation of the viewer. You're like, oh look, it's Woody Harrelson, and then Woody Harrelson is gone, and you don't know what happened to him. And like, oh, there's Jared Leto, and like, oh, Jared Leto's gone. I don't know what happened to him. And there's John Cusack. Oh great, there he is. I don't know what happened to him. And it just kind of like you're weaving in and out of like not just these stories of these different pockets of soldiers, but also famous actors that you're kind of like, hey, and then oh wait, where'd they go? That if they were just not famous actors, you wouldn't really notice as much. But the fact that they are famous actors helps a little bit because the distinction of like not just a couple of generic looking white dudes who kind of look similar enough to be confusing. Black Hawk Down, I found very confusing because like the way that it was shot, all like rumbly and cameras and stuff. Like half the time, I couldn't tell who was which person. They're all wearing the same outfit. They all kind of look the same. Is that Josh Hartnett? I don't know who that is. Like what's going on? I really love the way this movie was shot. Because even Saving Private Ryan has a lot of that like fast, jostly camera stuff. Sure. This is a lot of still cameras. Let the shot speak for itself. The staging was incredible. So you'd see a shot that's just well staged, and in the background you'd see things happening. Just all like another soldier falling. Just like the way that it was staged, the shots, it was just beautiful. And it really does. It does feel like poetry, a little bit like art as you're watching it. And it's gruesome and it's gory, and like you can really get a feel for like the motivations of some like the commanders. Like, oh yeah, I've sending men to their death for their own personal gain and glory, and you can just get like it's a pretty anti-war film, and you get to see like the humanity of like the enemy, like as they kind of overtake these Japanese soldiers, and then you see them like as they become prisoners, holding their fallen comrades and crying and weeping. The score, Hans Zimmer, it is incredible music. I mean, it is really just like watching like a huge, big budget, cram full of movie stars war movie, but that feels a little bit more like an art house indie flick. It's not for everyone, and I'm not recommending that you watch it, but I'm just letting you know that like it's an experience, and if you sit down and you watch it, it starts like Jim Caviezel like swimming with a bunch of like native children and stuff. He's rowing a boat. He's got a huge smile on his face. You're like, what am I watching? What is this? Like, what am I going? And it came out the same year, Saving Private Ryan. So to go from one to the other, where like one's got huge tanks and big explosions and the spectacles of battles, to like, why don't we just let's just kind of eavesdrop on this person's hopes and dreams that are getting shattered by this war. Okay, let's go over here, and it's kind of like, but it's intimate. It manages to be intimate, which is like so outrageous to me that a war movie could feel as intimate as this movie does. It's just instead of this big grand spectacle, it's just like the micro of the war, the battle, the individual lives of each of the soldiers. Really incredibly well done, really beautiful, and probably my favorite. It leaves you feeling very hollow by the end. I felt very, very, very sad, and I thought about it for days after, just days after I rewatched it. I just kept thinking about the imagery and the symbolism and the performances. Which is depending on what you want out of a movie. If that sounds like a good time to you, then pop the sucker on. It is streaming on Prime, I believe. So
I've
knock
never
yourself
seen
out.
this.
But
Never seen this.
look, if you have 3 hours to spare and the desire to feel a little bit of despair, and want to watch something that's like just beautifully shot, and incredibly well acted, John Cusack, pretty good, small role. I thought he would be the weakest link as I was rewatching, and I'm like, I can't take John seriously as a soldier, but pretty good. Little details, like they charge up to take like a ridge, and it's like hot, and they're breathing heavy. They're out of breath. Love that. Like they're just like real human beings, like not like action heroes, like who are just like running up a hill, and then they're like, and they're delivering their dialogue completely out of breath. It's really good details, like really good movie. Anyway, watch it. Or don't.
I don't know if I want to.
I'm actually having second thoughts of not. I wasn't going to, but after that, I'm like, huh.
Do it. It's worth it. Stay with it though. If you start it, you got to stay with it till the end. You got to flow with it all the way through, and then you can hate it at the end and be like, I'm so mad that he made me watch it. But you can't tap out halfway through. You can't do it.
Okay.
You gotta. I want a strong reaction, not like I got bored after 10 minutes and I turned it off. That's not what we're doing here, people.
Maybe we should do a watch party.
It's like 2 hours and 45 minutes, but I'm in. I can understand. People will be like, why is he cutting to that girl and the guy? Like, I don't care about their marriage. Why is he cutting to this like beach scene? Why do you keep showing the birds? Why are there birds? People get real mad. And I just love it. The birds is beautiful. The ugliness of war. Like, but if you just stop and you look up, it's beauty. The world is beautiful, and then but there's just this like senseless war that's happening right in the midst of all of this beauty. Anyway, doesn't matter. Off we go. Dylan, what's your number one? Save me for myself.
Yes. Save us, Dylan. Give us something happy and inspiring and hopeful.
Okay, you know what? It is
War.
kind of that way. It's kind of that way. My number one, I saw this. I think I saw this in junior high as well, because they got a lot of historical accuracy with this. It was exciting and it was surprising when you see the politics of this kind of thing. My number one war movie is Patton, about General Patton, starring George C. Scott. Have you guys seen this?
Mm-mm.
There's a scene at the very beginning where he stands in front of an American flag and he's talking to his troops about how they're going to go into battle. And people said he won an Oscar just with that monologue. It is unbelievable. And he's saying things that Patton actually said. Interesting bit of trivia. Patton, like in this, Patton is an absolute potty mouth. And General Patton actually was, because he felt he had to compensate because his voice was a lot more high pitched. Now, George C. Scott is not high pitched. He is shockingly, unbelievably just like he just exudes, I don't know, everything. The entire thing. He is a tornado in this movie. And it's shocking because you see it and you see this is my World War II movie, by the way. You see what happens and the Nazis reacting to it. There's a scene where he's visiting troops that are in the hospital, the sick bay, whatever it is, and he's going through it. And in some of them, they are just on the brink of death. And he's talking to them and he is connecting with them, all of these different things. And you see this guy because usually he is tough as nails and he's showing his heart, and people are like, "What the hey?" And then he gets to one more, and this actually happened there. And he was like, "What's wrong with you?" And he's like, "Oh, it's nerves, sir." And he's like, "Nerves?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't think I could take it." And he's like, and he slapped him. He slapped him, not like he slapped him all up and down, but I mean, he slaps him. And then he says, "Take him and put him on the front line." How he's like insulting all of these brave men who are in here, actually wounded. He's like, "Put him in the front." And it's so funny because they were looking at the plans, and then they're like, "Wait, where's General Patton?" You see this from the Nazis. They're like, "Oh, he's not a part of this maneuver or whatever it is." And they're like, "Why would they take the best general they have at fighting and not have him be a part of it?" And they were like, they're saying he slapped an officer, and they're like, "That's what he did? He slaps an officer?" So they're taking their best general out of the entire fight. And guess what? That actually did happen. All of these different things. He goes to a site. I don't know if they were going to fight there, if there was going to be a battle there, but he goes and he's talking to one of his second in commands, and he's talking about how he's had premonitions, and in real life, he totally believed in past lives. And he was talking about how he was fighting in this ancient war. And he's like, and now the entire world's at war, and I cannot fight. All of this different kinds of things. It is so wonderfully done. And George C. Scott completely channels Patton. I mean, even if he didn't exactly sound like him, like with a high-pitched voice, I mean, he's unbelievable, a tour de force. If you guys haven't seen it, I mean, it's a really fun watch, and he is great. Highly recommend it. It is shocking how they go through all of the different things that really happen. He goes and he gives a speech, and like you see his second man, he's like, don't forget that, because he was like, "I'm sure that we, the different, like America and another. I think it was who was it? They were talking about another one of the Allies, but he forgot to mention Russia. He was like, and so the Russians were like, "Oh well, Patton said that you guys are going to split all of the Europe after the war. What about us? Are we a part of it?" And of course, he gets in trouble again. But I mean, as frustrating as that may sound, it's an unbelievable experience. It's fantastic to see the history and just how he is when he goes in and he's doing his thing and he's at war. It's just astonishing.
George C. Scott declined the Best Actor.
He declined it? Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
It won Best Picture, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, and he won Best Actor.
Why did he decline it? I forget.
I don't know.
Fair enough.
I think he was doing. He was trying. Someone said like, oh, it was after he declined it that Marlon Brando declined his Oscar. So maybe they thought it was fashionable.
According to this trivia, it just says that he famously refused to accept it, claiming the competition between actors was unfair, disliking the Academy's voting process, and called the Academy Awards a big meat parade.
Good for him.
Actors were about to take over like the system and like the studios, and like they were like, well, we're what it's all about, so we're going to go ahead and do our own thing. And producers put together the Academy Awards because all of a sudden they're like, what? Well, I mean, I want an award. Of course I want an award. And then the people who they're working with were like, well, I want one more than you do. I deserve. And they caused all the dissent and all of the what have you. So, I mean, I don't blame them for saying that, really.
Meat Parade, pretty good band name, just saying.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, it is. All right. Well, this was interesting. This is kind of a step away. Normally, we're like superhero.
And talking more Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
Which would have been great wars. Those are great wars. Those Clone Wars.
I can't believe you wouldn't let me put Starship Troopers on my list. Come on. America bonded together to squash those bugs.
The only good bug is a dead bug.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Charlie, you want to go ahead and wrap this one up?
Yeah, if you stuck this out, thank you so much. We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Maybe what some of your favorite war movies are. There's so many great ones that we didn't touch on, and certainly, a lot of really powerful and deservingly told stories. And we just want to say a special thank you to the men and women who have just sacrificed so much for this country and for our freedom. And have a wonderful Memorial Day. We will see you all next time. Make sure you click that like and subscribe below that gorgeous beard. And check out some of our other videos. And we'll see you next time.